All right, let's have a conversation with Professor Adeniyi on some of the developing stories. Let's even talk about the drug seizure and the rest. NDLEA, putting up very superb operations, both, at the airports, the seaports, and of course, the roads and the rest. Kudos to them, man.
Yeah, congrats first that we're leading in the finals.
Okay, but you're not watching it immediately.
Yeah, but let's just hope that we continue with the tempo.
Sure.
Yeah, but back to your question, I think what it just tells me is that agency is sustaining the tempo, the momentum that it built from the time that General Marwa came on board as leader of the agency. And of course, it reinforces the argument we've always made that if we have the right leaders in appropriate agencies, parastatals and ministries, you see them bringing in their charisma, injecting it into increasing the productivity and efficiency of processes and procedure. Welcome development, no doubt. We know the danger drugs constitute to the psychologies of people and how it contributes to crime as well, irrespective of the huge profit that they make from it, And it's something that is still endemic in the system. And what more can we say other than to continue to encourage the agencies to continue in the good job that they are doing, as the case could be.
Great stride indeed. Let's look at labor. Labor says no backing down, no going back. Minimum wage is supposed, a review is supposed to have started 6 months earlier. The NLC and TUC, they are blowing hot, and they say they are not going to back down
this time around.
After the 2 weeks ultimatum.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks ultimatum is good enough for government to sit with them and resolve all the contentious issues. One of it is that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu made some promises in a major broadcast to the nation, as part of measures to cushion the pains from the removal of subsidy. We haven't seen the effect of those announcements yet. The palliatives have not trickled down. There have been blockages, there have been problems with implementation. We do not want to imagine a situation where the funds meant for different levels of people, are being diverted, by barracudas who are
not snakes again now, barracudas
who are locked in some sections of the country. We need to know the details really, and of course it takes a push like this from the NLC for us to get the right answer, and that answer should come not just in pronouncements, in assurance or reassurance, but of course in concrete measures. The argument of labor is very plausible. If you look at the economy, the plight of the average citizen, you and I, we know what we're going through, so it's a very tough situation that people are in. While we try to understand with government too, we also need them, to be on the same page with us, and how can they be on the same page? We want to see the practicality, the realization of their promises, the realization of the things that they've said they're going to implement, the measures they have taken. Billions of naira was announced the other day. We haven't seen it happening. Vehicles were promised, vehicles that are not usually reliant on fossil fuel. We haven't seen them on the streets. So should this thing just end at the level of pronouncement, promise, without implementation? That has been our bane.
Are they playing politics? Is government playing politics with it? Because Ajaero, the NLC president, had said, how can you have a former state governor who couldn't implement the minimum wage of 30,000 come and sit on the negotiating table with them? Is it? I mean, what kind of
even beyond
irony
even
is
beyond
that?
Really, I think it may not really be the fault of the president, but it might be his fault to the extent that he's not able to rein in on his lieutenants, to ensure proper implementation. And that they were having a review committee. People can constitute it. The person that the NLC president talked about, what he said about him may be right, but it's just 1 out of 37.
But he's right, not that he may be.
Okay, yes, it's right, but I'm just saying
never paid up till now.
No,
they
that's
never
right.
implemented that.
Christian, I'm not
I mean, the facts are there.
No problem. I'm not
so why would you allow such a person to come and sit on the negotiating table? Are we playing politics with the workers' wages?
No, please,
That's what I'm asking.
Let's not reduce this to personalities. And the argument I was making is that it's just one individual amongst a committee.
Is it not one bad egg that spoils the other? One bad apple? Can't one bad apple spoil the others?
It's possible, but there are many distinguished personalities.
That's what we're saying.
There are many distinguished personalities there. I don't think that he will bring his own. Look, what happened at the state level is completely different at the federal level. If you look at even all our laws, much as we would make the argument that laws are implemented in the breach in this country, they are also better implemented at the subnational level. I mean, at the national level, much more than how they are implemented at the subnational level. Look at the procurement law, for instance. So many laws, for instance, the states, are like imperial entities. The governors, we've said this severally, are more like emperors. So what they do at the state level cannot be replicated at the federal level. It's a different ball game, and we have a 37-member committee here. How can one voice overwhelm the voice of the rest of the members?
The committee has not even started sitting almost a fortnight.
But let's not reduce it to personalities, please. Let's focus on the issue. And the issue we're saying is that we're making is that the point LNC is raising is very valid. Consideration has to be given to increasing the wages of the people. But beyond these increases in wages and all of that, those ones are just a part of it. What about the real sector, the productive sector? Because you can give me 1 million naira in a month if prices of goods and commodities keep rising. Of course, the 1 million naira will come to nothingness at the end of the day. So the structure of
that
the economy,
is when the money becomes paper money.
It becomes paper money. The structure, we also have to focus on long-term measures of strengthening the economy, ensuring that production is boosted, agricultural sector, the sectors that government has been piloting.
When people cannot go to the farms. Insecurity.
So again,
being fueled by
the problems are
who is fueling banditry and terrorism?
Christian, the problems are multiple, but we'll begin to take them one after the other, from macro to micro. One after the other, we'll deal with them. But to deal with them, government has to be focused. Government has to be determined beyond pronouncement.
When did we start having bandits in Nigeria? When did it become such a lucrative business to go on the road, kidnap people?
There are multiple reasons causing it, and we're troubled, we're worried.
Well, let's
but with focus and determination, we can deal with them.
You talked about food crisis too, and the rest. That's one of the greatest time bomb Nigeria may be sitting on now.
And the greatest regret is that people are still hoarding these things.
And that's what we're just going to discuss here in Kano.
Yeah, just like
warehouses and the rest.
So
why would that be so?
We're in a selfish country, a country where people are selfish. They do not subscribe to values. They're not concerned about the common good. They're just concerned about self-aggrandizement. And that's what is also causing problem in the foreign exchange sector. Foreign exchange market, because most of it's not Nigeria. It's not that we lack foreign exchange.
Yeah, but those who should have tracked it, they didn't track it.
How will they track it when it's hidden in their bedrooms?
No, sorry.
The bedrooms of
the CBN governor, said the banks, commercial banks, were keeping $7 billion. You found out, fine. You found out the causes of why the naira is weak against the dollar. What arrests have they made?
I agree with you. What arrests have they made? So the ball is back in the courts of the
Professor Adeniyi, thanks so very much.
Yeah.
They know.
So we need to see.
They know what they are doing.
Absolutely, no, Christian. We need to. What you're saying is that we need to see apprehension, prosecution, and sanctions, so that it can serve as deterrence.
Yeah. What remediation have you brought? The banks just kept $7 billion.
Yeah. So the laws,
nothing.
The laws, the regulations,
and deliberately ruined the Nigerian economy.
No, the regulations shouldn't just be there for decoration. We should see implementation. It's only through implementation,
must
through
be
deterrence,
to power at all times.
Some of these
Let the
things can be
CBN go after the bank chief executives for keeping that money. We want to see, consequences. Thank you so very much, Professor Abiodun Adeniyi, Arise News analyst and lecturer at Base University.